The Torah tells us in Parshas Kedoshim the following pasuk in Perek Tes pasuk Tes Vav. The last three words are "B'tzedek tishpon amisecha," that one should judge one's friend with righteousness. The Gemara in Shavuos and Daf Lamed offers two interpretations of this pasuk. One is that the pasuk refers to a dayan, a judge, who obviously has to judge impartially, so he should not favor one litigant over another in any way, shape, manner, and form. But the second limud the Gemara has from this pasuk is that one should be done chavercha l'kafslus. There's a fascinating machlokus harishonim regarding this second limud of done l'kafslus. Is this a mitzvah say? Is it a positive commandment? And that seems to be a position that is, according to most Rishonim, the Chinuch writes like that. The Rambam in Sefer Mitzvahs, also Mitzvah Kufa Zayin indicates that it's a mitzvah same in Torah. And Rabbi Yehuda in Shari Tshuva cites that position. The Chavetz Chaim in his Sefer Chavetz Chaim also counts it. On the other hand, the Rambam Pirsha Mishnayis and the Rambam Mishnah Torah seems to indicate this is a midas chasidus. It's a wonderful midah, but not necessarily a mitzvah say. As a matter of fact, the Rambam in Hilchos Deos cites this among a litany of different types of deportment which are relevant to a Talmid Chacham. Dibur benachas, one should speak softly to everyone, one should be makdim shalom v'chal adam, and the Rambam includes among that v'donis kol adam l'kafslus. This is something which, of course, is a very beautiful midah of a Talmid Chacham. So we have a machlokas harishonim with reference to this particular pasuk, b'tzedek tishpon amisecha. Is it a mitzvah say, or is it a midah, a beautiful midah? And as a matter of fact, if one examines the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, one can now understand the juxtaposition. Aseh lecha rav, u'knei lecha chaver, ve'vidonis kol adam l'kafslus. Namely, if a person wants to be a Talmid Chacham, so one requires three things: a rebbe, a chavrusa, a chaver, and one also has to acquire the midas of a Talmid Chacham, amongst them being this midah of being done a person l'kafslus. The Chavetz Chaim in his Sefer delineates and tries to articulate parameters of this halacha. Namely, we're talking about another Benoni, an average person, b'derech klal, one who is a shomer Torah mitzvahs, one who's careful about not being involved in chet. But from time to time, the person actually may falter, may stumble, and now he does something which is shakul, which is not clear what his intent was. There's a mitzvah in Torah to be done him l'kafslus. And even the Chavetz Chaim says, if the action seems to be more inclined l'kaf chova, one is not permitted to be machriya l'kaf chova. We have mechuyah to be done him l'kafslus, because we're talking about another menuni, a good person, a fine person. And even if we're talking about someone who is, we don't know him, whether he's a tzaddik or a rasha, there's no obligation min haTorah to be done in l'kafslus. However, midah tova tells you that one should be done in l'kafslus. So the Rambam Pirsha Mishnayis and Hilchos Deos, the Rambam is speaking about a person who's bilti yadua. We don't know where he's at, and that's what the Rambam said. That's called the midas chasidus and the midah of Talmid Chacham. However, the other Rishonim, namely the Gemara in Shavuos, the Chinuch, Rabbi Yehuda, and the Rambam in Sefer Mitzvahs, that indicates the mitzvah say, here we're talking about, as the Rishonim seem to understand, that's how the Chavetz Chaim writes, that we're talking about chavercha, a friend, someone that you know, who's not a Rosh chas v'shalom, because that's the lashon of the Gemara in Shavuos, have been done as chavercha l'kafslus. If that's the case, it's a mitzvah say min haTorah. That's how we resolve the two different approaches of the Rambam, the one that's found in Sefer Mitzvahs, as opposed to the other two places where the Rambam indicates Aminas Chasidus. The Gemara in Shabbos and Kuf Chav Zayin is probably the most famous Gemara that relates to this midah. The Gemara tells over the following story about a person who went to work. He came from the Galil HaElyon, and he worked in the southern part of Eretz Yisrael for 3 years. Erev Yom Kippur, he wwent to the Baal Bayis and said, "Take me schari, may I have my wages? I want to support my wife and family." The Baal Bayis said, "I have no money." "Take me payros, let me have fruit." "Ainly, I don't have." "Take me karka, real estate." "Ainly, I don't have." "Take me behema, give me animals." "Ainly, I don't have." "Take me karim ksato, give me sheets, pillowcases, pillows." "Ainly, I don't have." The Gemara says, "Hifshul kelev the Acharei, v'alach lebeisa v'pachin nefesh." Of course, he went home rather distraught, rather stressed out. Lachar regel, after Yom Tiv, Natal Balabayis schara b'yado. The Balabayis came, the one who hired him, with his wages, and he came also laden down with 3 donkeys full of goodies. Echad shel machal, v'echad shel mishtev, v'echad shel minim begodim. And he went to the home of the employee who worked for him. After they ate and drank, he presented him with his wages, and then he had the following dialogue. When you asked, "Let me have my wages," and I said, "I have no money," I imagine you achoshed me. You suspected me. So the answer was, "No, I thought probably you found some pragmatic result, and you decided to go ahead and invest in some sort of a business opportunity." And when I said that I have no animal, were you choshing me? "No." He said, "I thought maybe muskeres b'yad all your animals were hired out." And when I said I have no property, no real estate, no karka, what were you choshing me? I said maybe the land was muchkeres b'yad acher, leased out to others. What about, I asked you for fruit, the basics? I said maybe they were not tithed. And what about pillows and sheets and the like? I thought maybe you were magdish, all your nechasim, you gave it to Hegdish Amalei, Avoda Kachaya. That's exactly what happened. He darti called the chasam b'shul hukiris b'ni shul asar b'torah, and then he had the neder, was essentially annulled, and he said to him, "Kishem shedamtani lekaf schus, hamokim yodinos chadaschus." Just like you have done me lekaf schus, Hashem should also done you lekaf schus. So here we have an absolutely beautiful midah. By the way, the Shiltas Acharei Gaon mentions that this other mechad was Rabbi Akiva before he became a Talmid Chacham. He already clearly had beautiful midos. He already clearly had wonderful character traits, which of course made him worthy of being a Talmid Chacham. The Gemara says in Ksubas Samach Beis that the reason why his wife, the daughter of Kalba Savua, decided to choose him as a husband because he was Tzanua Umali, and perhaps that's why he was Zocher. He ultimately became the great Rabbi Akiva, the great Tana, because of this particular wonderful midah of being done the kaschus. In general in life, this is a very significant and very important midah or mitzvah, depending on the circumstances that I mentioned earlier, that one has to acquire. Often one sees people doing things that seem to be questionable, problematic, dubious, even sometimes in terms of behavior that leaves what to be desired. One has to be extremely cautious that one should be done the person of the kaschus. This is a midah which is exceptionally important and exceptionally significant, and to the extent that we can acquire this midah vis-a-vis other people, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu as well will be done us the kaschus. I say this also, if I can extrapolate, this week in Eretz Yisrael is a very saturated week. Yom HaZikaron, we remember those soldiers who gave up their lives in order to establish the state and to maintain Eretz Yisrael in all of its beauty and splendor. We also have a day, Yom HaAtzmaut, that celebrates the independence of the state, and there's no question that even though there are many things about the state that are problematic to a Torah Jew, we have to try our best to see things in a positive light. We have to look for the pluses, we have to look for the zchuyot, and there are so many zchuyot of so many people who are Moshe Nefesh. Halavai, we should be zocheh to acquire this particular midah or mitzvah, depending on the circumstances, as part of our arsenal, as part of our weaponry, as part of our cachet, and Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach, if we had done people the Kaf Schus, Ribbanu Shalom, Midah, Keneged Midah, Midah Shadam Bod, Yiboded in Lo, be done us the Kaf Schus, Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach, will be Zocher to tremendous Yata Dishmai.